lose another man's treasure.
But if you want it bad, it's your love or possession.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Cause beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder.
Hold up, I'm about to get the game sewed up.
Take a second just to sit and chill and smell the roses. Looking for acceptance, open doors that never close them.
When the hand's dealt,
you gotta know when to fold. And if a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down, an apple every day, keeping doctors homebound. Using the word they can be more than a pronoun.
And if you don't pray, they be breaking the quotes out.
So they say, so they say.
Be a good boy, Johnny, don't you ever play with.
So they say, so they say.
You gotta crawl before you walk.
It's the city of brotherly love, home of the Liberty Bell, where the 76ers are looking to take on a Western Conference opponent, the NBA on 2K Sports. Thanks for joining us this Sunday afternoon. Kevin Harlan here with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, and we'll have David Aldridge filling us in from the sideline. And, of course, Donovan Mitchell. It's our first glimpse of him looking good in his new Pelicans jersey.
As you were mentioning, I mean, that trade has this team buzzing. You can see it in the warm-up line, how loose and confident they look now with him on that roster.
And that's a foul called on Kelly Oubre. That's his first foul. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Mobley. Nash outside. You know, Greg, so often we talk about depth, but how important is it for these teams to possess it?
Yeah, especially with the amount of injuries we see happen every season. It's so critical that teams have players that are ready to step up and produce and really allow you to not have to change the way you play.
Shoots from 14, and the basket is good.
Love the flow and rhythm that George plays with. Very impressive. He's got a natural, comfortable cadence to his pace.
Now, here's Nash. Pass to Vucevic. 6 to shoot. New Orleans needs to get off a shot. The shot by Thompson, no good. And so it's Mobley with it. He'll bring it up for the 76ers. And it's George missing. All right, now let's find out what head coach Nick Nurse had to say to David Aldridge. David.
He talked about the challenges that come with playing against Lauri Markkanen. Coach said you have to know where Lauri is at all times because he's so effective playing off the ball. He's a knockdown shooter and a smart cutter. And he moves extremely well for his size. This team's got a lot of respect for the mobile 7-footer. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, David.
And what I love about Markkanen, he takes care of the basketball. And that's a result of being patient, playing smart, and just generally getting his points within the flow of the offense.
Well, Maxey has proven he's got a good eye out on the floor. He'll spot those gaps in a minute.
And Thompson throws it down.
Beautiful pass by Steve Nash.
He's getting his first free throw attempt of the game here. Now the Pelicans have lost in the first round GA of the playoffs in 2 of the last 3 years.
And with how good the West is right now, they knew they couldn't stand pat. They felt the urgency to make some changes this offseason in order to take the next step.
Pass to Markkanen. Nash outside. And it's Vucevic in the corner. Nifty move. He takes it up and lays it in.
Well, that's just strength there. That's what we call weight room. The power of Vucevic on display.
George with the ball. Now defended by Markkanen. Here's Mobley. And Mobley throws it down.
Oh, Kevin, not a Petty, not a Manny, but a facial.
Oh, bounce to the outs, Greg. Yeah, showing off the bunny.
He's a highlight reel, always on the launch pad.
And the Pelicans making a change here.
2 minutes remaining in the first. 2 minutes.
Back to Nash. A minute 50 left to play in the first. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
No question, he got bumped on that shot.
Yeah, the officials didn't need to talk that one over. It was obvious.
At the line for the Pelicans.
All free throws good from Nash. The 76ers trailed by 3. Here's Oubre. Here he goes. And the jam by Oubre.
Oubre with those long strides covers up ground quickly.
Down low. Nash right side. New Orleans moving the ball around. The shot by Thompson, no good.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
Here's Oubre. From down in the low post, it goes.
Oubre not taking no for an answer there was not going to be denied. Right through the defender.
Takes a 3, and the Pelicans miss again.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
Outside, George. From outside the arc, hits the three-point bomb. George has got 5.
You've got to be alert to where George is out on that perimeter because that jumper of his has become dangerous.
Timeout called here. The Pelicans decide to talk it over. Pelicans trailed by 4. Nash outside. They set the pick. They need this. Mobley with the rebound. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. Executing to perfection right now offensively.
I mean, in total sync. Good luck trying to stop him now.
Now, here's Oubre. Launches it. Another 3 for Philadelphia.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
Yeah, shots falling. Off to a very good start offensively as a result.
Pass to Sensabaugh. From the arc. No good that time. And so it's the Philadelphia 76ers heading to the bench with a 7-point lead as we wrap up the quarter. They have been...
The Pelicans, 9.
And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through 1 quarter of action so far. And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for the 76ers.
You know, in the early going, they've been effective scoring in the mid-range, and if it's falling, I say stay with it.
And I also like how they've trusted one another with the rock, creating shots by keeping the ball moving.
When Donovan Mitchell, Greg, is on the floor, he is the offense.
Yeah, and that goes beyond just his ridiculous scoring. It gets overlooked that he's also a skilled passer. So one way or another, Mitchell is finding points out there.
Pass to Vucevic. And it's Bona with the rebound. Philadelphia leading by 4. Here's Jerome. Misses the 3, and he used the pump fake well there, but he couldn't capitalize. Mitchell looking it over. Pass to Vucevic. And the layup is good after a nice lead pass. Vucevic has got 6.
You know, Nikola Vucevic, guys, just goes to work when he gets an opportunity to score. I mean, he's a very, very polished offensive player.
Basket is good. He'll get a chance for 1 more at the line.
Defensive foul.
Man, like the way Vucevic, after contact, continues to work through and concentrate on the bucket. That's a credit to his body control.
Mark, you had a chance to defend a lot of great scores in your time in the NBA.
Yeah, and I did. It wore me out too, partner. I mean, I think the attitude of those guys stands out. Their relentlessness, the skill level obviously was there, but it was the relentless pursuit of the basketball and scoring opportunities. Bernard King, Larry Bird, Alex English, Marcus Johnson was near the tail end of his prime, but he was a problem too. I mean, there were a number of guys in that. Kelly Tripucka. Woo! Yeah, don't make my head spin.
And with an update from the sidelines, let's check in with David Aldridge.
Kevin, Franz Wagner grew up in Germany, but he says one of the reasons that I went to college in the U.S. was to learn a different mentality. The game is played more competitively, and talking trash is welcome. I had it in me deep down, but that brought it out more. That combination of styles has helped him to this day. Kevin?
Great stuff, D.A. Thanks. And what about the evolution of Tyrese Maxey? Greg, according to him, he's just getting started.
Well, Kevin, I'd have to agree. I mean, he's got some big shoes to fill with James Harden leaving, but each year this guy has just gotten better. And not only has he matched Harden's production in Philadelphia, I think he's exceeded it.
With the drive. A three from Strus. Here's McCain. Nailed from three-point land. McCain's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three. Here's Mitchell. The jump shot from the baseline is right on target.
A tough start scoring the basketball, but they're starting to turn it around now.
Yeah, it looks like they've gained a little bit of confidence as the lid has come off the hoop.
There's a good screen. And it's Strus missing. Pelicans trailed by three. Mitchell wide open. Offensive rebound. The kick out to Porter. Mitchell outside. Pass to Markkanen. Tries again. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. And the Pelicans making a change here.
Substitution on the court.
The 76ers leading by three. Here's Jerome. Still without a basket. Here's McCain. And he drops in the layup off the glass. And the 76ers lead by 5.
Great job of screening there. Nice job to take it to the rim and get the finish.
Pass to Porter. Here's Sensabaugh. Mitchell in the corner. Again, Mitchell missing. Here's McCain. The wide open shot from Strus. It's good from long range. Strus has got the lead up to 8 now for the 76ers. .36 seconds left to play in the first half. Tipped away. Here's Yabusele. Pass to Bona. They set the pick. Here's McCain. 6 on the shot clock. The 76ers need to get off a shot. Here's Jerome. Again, Philadelphia.
Unwilling to let up even for a moment. That's his killer instinct, just fanning the flames.
Yeah, I love the fact he doesn't play the score. He just keeps coming, attack mode. He doesn't know how to step off the gas pedal.
And so it's Philadelphia with a 10-point lead. Some breathing room heading into the break. Their shooting has been the big key. Their percentage from the field so far has been terrific. And we'll be back with you shortly. We played through the first half. Plenty of basketball, though, left in this one. Here's Mitchell. And Philadelphia grabs the miss.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that.
Here's George. And it's George finishing it off.
Look, in deference to his age, he's not going to throw it down like he used to, but PG can still rock that rim.
Sinks the three-pointer.
Vucevic.
Vucevic has got 11.
Watch out now. When this guy gets into a rhythm, it is something to behold.
You know, Greg, it's been great to see the Pelicans get to the next level these past few seasons, hasn't it?
It has, and they've become one of the deeper teams in the NBA over that time. It's not just about one guy. There's talent up and down that roster.
And Wagner has it in the corner. And Aldama has it in the corner. Pass to Vucevic. To the inside. Here's Mitchell. It's hauled in by Beverly.
Just 1 for 4 from the field, not the way they wanted to start the second half.
Here's Mobley. Vucevic with the block.
Get that weak stuff out of here. You can't come weak like that against Vucevic. He's going to send it back at you.
Mobley with the block. And that's out of bounds. New Orleans will retain possession. Timeout called here. The Pelicans decide to talk it over. And we're about a minute and a half here into the second half. Nash outside. Traps in the tray. He has 5.
Gets the shot he wants. The defense wasn't quite connected enough. They lost contact.
In the corner, George with it. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. It's going to be on Donovan Mitchell.
Well, you have to be really on your toes when you're defending Paul George. He's excellent when it comes to using the pump fake to draw fouls.
And Clark, we know the last handful of years, the 76ers have been a threat in the East.
7 straight years of playoff runs. Can't get past that second-round barrier, though, Kevin. But as far as success, they've been as consistent as it comes in the East the last decade.
Outside, Maxey. Outside, George. Trains it from beyond the arc. George has got 11 points.
Well, I like this execution coming out of the half. Solid. 3 for 4 from the field so far.
And so it's Mitchell who brings up the ball for the New Orleans Pelicans, trailing by 10. Pass to Aldama. Wagner outside. 5 on the clock. No good with the layup. The 76ers leading by 10. Left side, George. Pass to Mobley. And Mobley throws it down.
An elite scorer, demonstrating once again how fast he can fill it up.
Here's Nash. The layup missed.
And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
A moment now to hear from our sideline reporter, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. David.
Kevin, if you want to win, of course, playing both ends of the floor is essential. Former Defensive Player of the Year, Draymond Green, says, we've seen teams for years make the mistake of thinking they can put a great offense out there and win.
Timeout.
You run up against a team that's just competent offensively, but they play defense, you're going to lose. Kevin?
Got the 1-2 punch as Draymond talks about. Man, that is something tough to get by. DA thanks. So both teams making some changes here. A minute 20 left in the third quarter. The same day, Clark, that Tyrese Maxey was named to the All-Star game, he scored a career high and was great doing it.
How about that, Kevin? How ironic is that? It was his first All-Star selection, by the way, but this has been the story with Maxey. I mean, he just continues to make great progress in his game. He's a really dynamic young player with still room to grow.
And there's the call on Ty Jerome.
His second personal.
That's foul number 2 for him.
Team foul.
And that's out of bounds. New Orleans will retain possession.
Yeah, gets a finger on it, but just can't quite come up with the steal.
Clearly a careless pass. He got away with one there.
Here's Sensabaugh. Hasn't made one yet. And no good. The dry spell continuing for him.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Here's McCain. Another three for Philadelphia.
Yeah, with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been from beyond.
Out to Thompson. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him. Thompson's got his second bucket of the night. They set the pick. Pass to McCain. Takes the three. No good on the last second attempt there. And so it's the Philadelphia 76ers with an 18-point lead as the
Pelicans 28.
And there have been 2 very different performances from these teams today as we get going in quarter number 4. Here's Jerome. Pass to McCain. Let's go. Plenty of room to knock down the shot. Pelicans trailed by 20. Nash outside. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. Clark, when you played, virtually every team had an enforcer. But that is a rare breed, it seems, in today's game.
Yeah, that's a good observation by you, I think, Kevin. I mean, a lot of teams had more than one enforcer back in the early 80s when I was playing. There's less physicality in general in the NBA today. I think that's why you see fewer enforcers, and there's a much greater premium on skill level than the enforcement component that existed in the early 80s and maybe a little beyond that.
And that's out of bounds. New Orleans will retain possession.
Substitution on the court.
Now, here's Vucevic. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Mobley. Whoops, they pick off the pass. Pass to George. Fires from deep. That one is good. He's only missed 1 shot of his 6 taken on the floor. And a closer look here at the hustle stats for Philadelphia.
Really a great job in this one, forcing the issue defensively. Great quickness and discipline combined, making ball handlers very uncomfortable.
And you also have to applaud how they've been able to create turnovers and then convert those on the offensive end.
I'll tell you what, he has been feeling it, guys, and the best game plan right now, it's elementary. Just keep feeding him. Let him eat.
Near the three-point line, it's Nash. Shot is good off the back rim and in.
And you like to see since the half now, he's finally starting to come around.
Oubre, no one around him. Another 3 for Philadelphia.
The defense is far too slow to close out on those 3-point attempts.
And those triples, they sure do add up quickly, don't they? I mean, they've got to make some kind of adjustment here.
Nash up on top. Evan Mobley with the rebound. And so it's Maxey with it. He brings it up for Philadelphia. They lead by the biggest margin of the game, 25. Back to George. Launches a 3. Good on the 3-point shot. George has got 8 here in the quarter.
He's found his rhythm from deep, and you can see the confidence.
Yeah, I'd be confident, too. As a matter of fact, I mean, if you're stacking up threes the way he is, I mean, he's doing all his work from behind the arc.
Mitchell outside. And they come right back with their own 3-pointer.
The real. Come at us, and we're coming right back at you.
A little back and forth from long range. I love it. That's a terrific answer there.
The 3 from George. It's rebounded by New Orleans.
Well, I cannot believe he didn't capitalize there. And neither can he.
Nash outside.
2 minutes remaining in the game.
Back to Markkanen. Pass to Nash.
76ers.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Tyrese Maxey.
That's his first foul. Third team foul.
1:57 left to play here in the fourth. And it's Vucevic missing. On the wing, George. Jacks up a three. That doesn't go either for George.
Hard to figure out how he doesn't knock that one down. No defender in sight.
And there's the whistle. 3-second violation. Regarding court layout, Clark, do you think there should be more space around the court to reduce collisions?
Yeah, part of me would say that makes a lot of sense and would be prudent. I mean, you've got to balance that with access to fans who want to be for those premium seats as close to the action as possible. But it is difficult when you see a fan collide with the players. So I think you balance it. I would like to see a little more room, give the fans the experience and access, but maybe create a little more cushion between the playing surface and those high-priced seats.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for Philadelphia.
You know, a team can have a great shooting night without getting a lot of assists, but tonight they had both.
Yeah, and listen, you only get the assist if the guy you give it to makes the shot. So a lot of assists will up your field goal percentage, but this was a great team effort by everyone.
And it'll mark their 4th win on the year, actually their 5th win on the year.
And with the win approaching, they'll take the first game here of 2 that they'll play against this team. Nice to get that first one out of the way and set the tone.
It sure is. It's just a 2-gamer since they're in opposite conferences, and you can bet they'll take the same approach right into game 2 they had tonight.
And we watched one guy all night long, guys, and look at the stats, just confirms what a dominant game he had. What a night tonight it was for Paul George.
Every time he shot it, it seemed like it was going to drop in. And if it didn't, everyone was surprised.
And they can just dribble the ball until the buzzer.
Yeah, they got to be happy with the outcome.
So it's Philadelphia winning this one easily, and the outcome of this one was